my physical body, that can tap into that larger consciousness, that larger field. And we can pull the wisdom from there directly into our beingness. The way we access that is through various means. Meditation, perhaps, one. Using the radical forgiveness tools is another. Just simply being quiet and listening for that guidance. And we usually experience that as a internal conversation or through our intuition. And people are more and more are getting this information directly from the universal consciousness, I believe. So one's spirit, you can't really define it or say it's located here and here, because I think it's all part of the overall collective consciousness.
But could you mention kind of organ in a human, I don't know, body or personality that could receive that? For example, the traditions of Chinese practice, they say that it's heart center is accepted.
Right, it's chi.
Christian monks traditions, they believe the heart accepting this like energy. In your theory, what organ that could be developed to receive this information and these connections?
I think the whole body, the whole person is receiving it. Yes, the heart is a portal, for sure, because our emotions, which are based in the heart, will be tuned in, if you like, to the spiritual intelligence. But I don't want to say that the heart is the spirit, or the pituitary gland is the spirit, or even the hara is the spirit. I see spirit as being almost like a cloud. That we are part of spirit, and that we can receive information from spirit, from the soul, and that we are aspects of our own soul.
So it looks like very close to conception of aura, like energetic field around the body that accepts all these vibrations.
Well, these are the subtle bodies that you're referring to. Sorry, I shouldn't be answering questions. Some people will say it's the aura that's the spiritual part of us. So what I see there is that it's just one of many bodies. There are basically 5 bodies, different densities. This is one. This is the one with the lowest vibration frequency. I mean, I don't want to say it's the lowest in terms of its usefulness. It just happens to vibrate at a certain level. Then around that, which is what a lot of people talk about as the aura, is the etheric body. It's the body that's the next vibration up, 1 octave higher than the physical body. Then the emotional body, and then the mental body, and then the spiritual body. And each one of those bodies is 1 octave higher than the rest. So you could say that the spiritual body is the soul, or the I would prefer to say that is the receptor of spiritual information from spirit, which is the much larger concept, a much larger form of spiritual consciousness, the great sea of consciousness, you could say, that our spiritual body, which is peculiar just to ourselves, is tapping into the larger.
But when you talk about octane, does it mean that you mentioned the Gurdjieff's tradition about
yes,
their bodies? So could you talk a little bit about this?
Don't know enough about Gurdjieff to answer that question.
The term, so it's like became part of your vision.
Yeah, okay.
So what does it mean, octane? How?
Octave.
Yeah, octave.
Yeah.
Make a difference between the bodies.
Yeah. The fact that each body is separated in terms of its frequency. Each of those bodies is separated by a shift in frequency. Gurdjieff, I think, was one of the people that really developed this whole idea of the frequencies and related it to music, in fact. But as I understand it, each one of those bodies changes its frequency 1 octave at a time. So I don't know what those frequencies are. I couldn't tell you what they are. But the body, as I said, is the densest, the lowest of the frequencies, and then the spiritual body is the highest of the frequencies, separated by 1 octave.
We talk a little bit about the receiver. What about transceiver? Who are sending this, or what is sending this, like information that is all these bodies receiving?
Okay. So the question then becomes, what is it that's transmitting to us that we are picking up as information? Who knows? Who knows? The truth is, of course, that none of us really know what that is. We have ideas about it, and we give names to it. We call it God, or Spirit, or the universe, or the great sea of potentiality. None of those things, I think, come even close to describing what or who is feeding us that information. We talk about angels, we talk about our spirit guides. Now, are these the source, or are these the messengers? For me, they're the messengers. I'm sure we have angels around us all the time. And I do believe that when we do radical forgiveness, and we're basically asking for help when we do these worksheets, our angels are there providing it. Or our spirit guides. Spirit that maybe spirit guides who have maybe been with us in life before, in human form, or not. But I do believe we all have spirit guides. And so, but they seem to me to be the intermediaries. They're the ones that are really feeding us the information from a higher source. Now, what that higher source is, I don't pretend to even know anything about it at all. I just have a feeling that it's there, and it's in some form or another, which is way beyond my comprehension to even start to put words to it.
But during your practice, should you give to clients some kind of map of reality that describing this kind of things, at least to understand, or you shouldn't?
Now, when I'm dealing with clients who come to me for help using radical forgiveness therapy, if they have not had any prior knowledge of radical forgiveness, then I've got to start from where they are, from their view of reality, that they're victims, that there are people out there that have perpetrated great crimes against them. And my job is to listen and to be compassionate, to be empathetic, and to allow them to have their feelings, and so on. They will be expecting me to fix them, to make them feel better, okay? And they will expect me to use what I call the medical model. And the medical model is, what's wrong with you? How did you get that way? And how can I fix you? That's the medical model. In my mind, however, I've got a different set of questions. Even though I haven't yet said this to my client. My questions are, what's perfect about what's occurring for this person? Number one. Number two, what's the second one, Joanne?
That's perfect.
Oh.
I'm actually needing a piece of tape.
No, it's okay.
But I'd love to have take this.
It's all right. Oh, you want to start?
Yeah, I need a
Let's
piece of
bring
tape.
the piece of tape.
It's stretching is
Okay.
what's happening. This
All
tape
right.
is stretching, and I really need to secure it because my hand's getting tired holding it.
Okay.
So another piece of tape would be great.
I know where I am.
You keep moving forward on your chair. And
Oh, okay.
cut it. I
Now,
think the
you-
scissors up there. Scissors are up there. Yeah.
All right, set your camera to where I am now then.
Thanks. Okay, that's it. I got it. Okay.
Maybe it's an idea. Maybe we'll take another chair for Tanya and you will sit there comfortably and looking periodically to the screen.
I can see fine here.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah, it would be hard to be stiff-necked if I had to be
But
sitting there.
it can be moved.
It can be moved up and down, but not sideways.
Okay.
If you can move it down just a bit, thanks, yeah,
Mhm.
perfect, okay.
So what are you thinking before you're asking the questions to the person? What's your...
Well, let me go through those
Yeah.
those three questions because they're
Mhm.
important. Okay. Second question. In my mind, how is the perfection revealing itself in this situation? Okay? And then the third question is how can I bring the client to be able to see it that way? In other words, to see the perfection in this situation. So those are the three aims that I have when I'm dealing with a client. Now, it may take me a long time to get the client to a point where they would be willing to even be open to the possibility that there was perfection in what just happened to them. So it could take a long time of me just listening and reflecting back to them and asking them, you know, tell me what happened, tell me how it felt, what do you feel about it, you know, this kind of thing. And then at a certain point, and it may take 2 or 3 sessions before I get there, at a certain point, I'm going to say,
Very noisy
all right?
Hold the phrase then.
But at a certain point, I will say to the client, would you be willing to see this a little differently? And they will, well, what do you mean? Well, let me see if I can paint you a different picture about what might have happened here.
That's my question is exactly in this point. So which picture, do you have some kind of standard